Heidi Gillon stated on Facebook in response to exposure of both her son's criminality.
I'm being attacked yet again. So I'm posting this once more. My other son lost his business because he lost his children. My dear Facebook friends, warriors for the children. This is so hard for me as I don't like speaking bad about anyone, and this is not the reason why I'm sharing this post. I pray every day for the lady concerned. Thank you to my dear friends who shared this info with me. I'm not hiding behind a name, I'm Jane Kelly. They kept blocking me, so I thought I'd use my name before I was adopted. When my youngest son, not my son that lost his children, was 18, he had an episode of mental illness. He went to find his dad in Greece, which didn't work out. And then joined the Greek army to do his national service, which he didn't have to do. The Greek military released him under mental health, and my brother rang and told me he was bringing him home, but we believed he needed to have time to get the crisis team to help him. Even the police tried to assist, with no outcome. In the end, a cry for help caused him to down a large amount of alcohol, and he ended up being arrested and sent to prison for all I can say was a rampage through the streets of the town. The court recommended hospital, but instead he was sent to prison. By the grace of God, he was sent from prison to St. Nick's Secure Hospital in Newcastle. From then on he became well, and is now fully healed by God's grace. He is wonderful, wonderful son who loves Jesus and works hard as a builder in Birmingham. My other son came home to me after losing his children via corrupt family courts, which was the culmination of severe control and coercive abuse. The lady committing libel is a neighbor. I don't want to speak badly, just to say we've had to forgive and forgive and forgive. Thank you all for being there for me and each other over the last 2 years. Since I reached out, we don't judge each other as we know how cruel life can be. Kind comments and prayers for my neighbor, please.
Jane confirms in a public statement her 2 sons are indeed the men exposed for crimes involving sexual abuse and violence against children and fraud. So no doubt about the authenticity of allegations against Jane's sons. What has concerned me most about Jane's statement is that there is no apology nor sympathy for any of the victims who were harmed by her son's behaviours. Making excuses for their vile behaviours without a single reference to any victim of their crimes sickened me. Also, the fact that Jane has let her monster of a son, who abused children around vulnerable people, at protests to protect children is unbelievable. Even suggesting God has healed this monster. Therefore we should, rhetoric. In an attempt to gaslight his vile behavior and risk to children. And then there is her other son is selling fake expensive watches over the internet, defrauding many people of their hard-earned cash. I do not believe Jane is responsible for her son's behaviors, but she has gone a long way to cover it up from being exposed, without a shred of empathy for her son's many victims. And not to be trusted in the survivor community or around vulnerable people. Anyone affected by Jane or her son's behaviors, please contact your local police station. Do not give sensitive information to other social media users about yourself, as it does not always serve your best interests.